Hello and welcome to our thought for the day. Over the last few months, I've had a few conversations with people who have had things happen to them. And they told me, I think this was meant to be. Or they said, I think this happened for a reason. Have you ever had this feeling, I wonder, that things that happen to you are not just a coincidence or good or bad luck, but that there is some sort of scheme or plan playing out in the background, and that you are part of it. That there is some sense at the bottom of everything, even though our world seems such a chaotic place at the moment. If you think that something is happening for a reason, who then is responsible for that? Who makes sure that even bad stuff works out for a good purpose? Who guarantees that good wins and evil loses out in the end? Some people call this force the universe or fate or something like that. If you have faith, you will call it God. And God is not a faceless force, but a person whom we can get to know, for example, by reading the Bible. There are some stories in it that allow us to have a glimpse behind the curtain, that show us what is going on behind the scenes in the background. They let us see what God is doing to make sure that things work out in the right way. One such story we have read in our prayer meeting this week. You can find it in the book of Acts, chapter 8. This is a book that tells you what happened to Jesus' disciples and the early church after Jesus had gone back to heaven. And the story begins like this. Now an angel of the Lord said to Philip, "Go south to the road, the desert road, that goes down from Jerusalem to Gaza." In the Bible, God often uses angels to deliver messages to people to make sure things work out the right way. It's when people wouldn't have thought of something themselves, I think. I don't know about you, but I have never seen or met an angel. I know people who say they have, but I haven't. But what I know is that sort of prompting, a sort of nudge that seems to come out of nowhere. Pops into my mind and I feel I need to check on something, or I should send someone a message, or it makes me remember something. And often I've wondered if this was God trying to tell me something. So, what happens to Philip? He had not been told the reason why he should go to that particular road, but he follows the command and just walks. This is faith, knowing that it's God's voice speaking to you, and following his guidance even though it might not make sense to you at the time, trusting that he has a purpose that you cannot yet see. Philip is still walking when he comes across a chariot. It carries an important official from Ethiopia, the treasurer of the Ethiopian queen. And he's been on a visit to Jerusalem to worship there. So he would not have been born a Jew, but come to believe in the God of the Jews. I imagine there would have been other people and animals and vehicles on the road. It was an important, busy road. So Philip needs a little bit more help, another prompting. This time, it's God's Spirit doing that. He tells him, "Go to that chariot and stay near it." Philip duly does what he's told, and I think this is the moment when everything suddenly makes sense to him, because as he comes closer to that chariot, he hears this man in it reading aloud from the Bible, from the book of Isaiah. Philip realizes this is a foreigner who is searching for God. He realizes that he's meant to be here in this place at this time to help this man find God. He starts off a conversation with him. He asks him, "Do you understand what you're reading?" "How can I," says the man, "unless someone explains it to me?" And he invites Philip to join him in the carriage, and they have a deep conversation about God, about Jesus, and in the end the official asks to be baptized. This was a life-changing day for the Ethiopian man, and God used Philip to bring this about. He prompted him to be in the right place just at the right time. Angels and the Holy Spirit can help with that, but sometimes God uses other people to give us that nudge. Or it is an event that changes our plans and crisscrosses the timing that we had in mind. A delayed train perhaps, a traffic jam, bad weather, and we might end up just where we needed to be at that time. Sometimes even disaster can work for good. Many years ago, I met a man who had recently had a really bad accident at work, and that had caused him life-changing injuries. This had made him think about the big questions of life, and he became a Christian. Being grateful for such an event is quite something. Even though he's living with constant pain, he says he's found the most precious thing he could ever find: faith in Jesus. I must say, very often I don't know what reason there may be for something that is happening to me, but I hope and trust in God that He is in charge and knows what He's doing. And I try to be open to that gentle nudge from Him, so that I end up in the right place at the right time. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a good week. God bless you. Bye-bye.